Democrat scam has failed. That's right. The giant shut down the government scam that the Democrats are doing, keeping the government hostage for like the last 40 days, is over. They've been absolutely humiliated.
On this vote, the yeas are 60 and the nays are 40. Three
That's
for the
right,
Senate,
baby.
duly chosen and sworn, having voted in the affirmative. The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
There we go. We got the 60 votes. The government is reopening. And do you know what the deal was? Do you know what the concessions that were made by Trump? Absolutely nothing. He got everything he wanted. The Democrats buckled, the Democrats caved, and Trump got everything. They didn't get a single concession from the orange overlord. Now, there are a few reasons as to why they decided that they were going to stop the shutdown. The first reason is fat people were having a terrible time.
It's really bad.
Danielle Grant is starving.
Danielle Grant is starving.
It doesn't seem like it's some food. We don't have anything to eat today or tomorrow. So we're going to try to make it.
Danielle Grant is starving, ladies and gentlemen. And to be fair, this is a Democrat voter. You know how I know? Because she's fat and retarded. That's how I know, actually. Because the fat, unemployed people that are supposedly starving all vote for the Democrats because they're the ones that promise free stuff. So all of their voters are starving, but they don't actually care about their voters. This actually is not what pushed them over the edge. Do you know what is what pushed them over the edge? Do you know what was the actual reason why, in my opinion, they decided to reopen the government? John Kennedy said, Senator John Kennedy, if most people stopped doing their job, they wouldn't get paid, they'd get fired. But when Congress doesn't do its job, the checks keep rolling in. My bills would make members of Congress live with the mess they created. He was trying to push a bill in Congress to stop funding congressmen while the government was shut down. Why should you get paid if you're not working? First of all, completely true and accurate. And all of a sudden, they decided they wanted to vote to reopen the government. Wow. Wow. It's as simple as that. Wow. Chuck Schumer, the day before this, he is the guy that orchestrated the entire government shutdown. I have an insane video planned for today, so definitely subscribe. You are not ready. Bernie shits himself. Chuck Schumer shits himself. The Democrats are in a civil war. They're crashing out. It's absolutely amazing. It's cinema. So this is him running out of the room.
So for 1 year, people making millions of dollars would still receive these COVID-era subsidies?
The bottom line is the senator from Ohio ignores that 99% of people, you want to hurt people making $10,000, $50,000, $90,000 and hold this up? We can fix what the gentleman said in a negotiation, but don't have people who are every day being hurt by paying thousands of dollars more that they can't afford. I know that the senator from Ohio cares about the billionaires. We care about average working people.
Sure.
I yield the floor.
So just to be clear,
he runs out.
It's recognized.
So just to be clear, what you heard from the minority leader was the following. I just want to recap it for those of you who might have missed. Number one, he acknowledged that the Democrats have actually not put forward a written proposal that people could look at.
True.
Number two, he acknowledged that his plan would be to allow millionaires, let me just say that clearly, people making millions of dollars would receive Biden-era COVID Obamacare subsidies.
That's right, and that's what Schumer was pushing. Schumer and the rest of the retards were pushing healthcare for illegals, healthcare for everyone, epic socialism moment. Trump said, nuh-uh, it's not happening. They shut down the government for 40 days to make this giant tantrum. They got thousands of people to lose their jobs, thousands of people to lose their benefits, basically screwed the government, potentially caused a plane crash. Actually, I'm not even kidding. They potentially caused a plane crash because they fired the FAA controllers. And now they're just reopening the government, completely humiliated because now they might lose their pay. Absolute cinema. And it gets even better. It actually gets better. So, you don't want to give illegals free healthcare? No. No, actually, I don't. No, actually, I don't. They could darn well pick their booty up and leave the country. All right? No, actually, I don't. So this is Bernie Sanders losing his mind. Losing his mind. Oh my God, dude. The leftoids are actually in civil war right now.
And that the way the process has been developed, it is impossible to delay the votes that are going to take place. And if that were not the case, that is certainly what I would do. Because I think it is important that the American people fully understand what is being voted on today.
Agreed. Let's understand.
Everybody in America knows that our current healthcare system is broken.
Okay. It's Obama's fault, by the way. Obama's the one that pushed us into this mess.
Dysfunctional. It is cruel.
Agreed.
It is by far the
True.
most expensive healthcare system in the world and the only healthcare system of any major country that does not guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right.
Including illegal aliens that invade our country. He wants, as a human right, to give free healthcare to illegal aliens. That's right. I have gun rights, but I don't get free guns. Have you noticed that I don't get free guns despite having gun rights? Someone in my chat just said gun rights means that you have the right to buy guns, not that the right to get guns for free. Wow. You noticed? Wow. True. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Really? Kind of like healthcare, right? The right of healthcare.
Covering every man, woman, and child. We are unique in that respect. And yet tonight, what this Senate is about to do is make a horrific situation even worse.
No, it's not. It's actually kind of keeping more of the status quo.
So let's be clear what this vote is about.
Yeah, so I love how he never actually directly says what the vote is about because he doesn't want to admit that it literally is just giving our tax dollars to people that illegally invaded our country.
If this vote succeeds, over 20 million Americans are going to see at least a doubling in their premiums in the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, a lot of those people are rich. A lot of those people are illegal in the country. A lot of those people should not be on government health care. To be fair, it's not a perfect system. However, what you are proposing here is infinite money to everyone. And that includes non-Americans. Yeah, so anyway, public crash out on the dance floor. He's losing everything. John Fetterman is the only normal Democrat senator, saying after 40 days, as a consistent voice against shutting down our government, I voted yes for the 15th time to reopen. I'm sorry to our military, SNAP recipients, government workers, and Capitol Police who haven't been paid in weeks. It should have never come to this. This was a failure. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you've noticed the colossal failure of the Democrats. And then, obviously, the retards are literally crashing out. Shame on all these people for voting to reopen the government. Remember when these guys were all crying about how they need to reopen the government? All of them. We need to reopen the government. It's not fair that we keep the government closed. And now, literally, all of these retards actually vote to reopen the government. And they lose their mind. They're absolutely just losing their mind. So again, this is a big streamer, YouTuber guy. Fuck these traitors. Primary their asses just because they voted to reopen the government. They've all been crying about reopening the government. They finally do it, and it's not good because they got zero concessions, and it turns out it was a giant scam from the beginning, like I predicted right away. In fact, all of my predictions were correct. I knew that they would reopen the government without getting anything. Ro Khanna says, he's another retard leftoid, Senator Schumer is no longer effective and should be replaced. Leftoids civil war. If you can't lead the fight to stop healthcare premiums from skyrocketing for Americans, what will you fight for? Now, I was focused for a while on right-wing infighting, okay? You know, you got Ben Shapiro versus Tucker Carlson. Israel versus Qatar, the ultimate proxy war. Happening on American streets. No, Sharia law isn't actually a bad thing at all. So anyway, I was focusing on that skirmish, all right? I was focusing on that. Those are pundits. Those are retard commentators on the internet, okay? Those are retarded internet commentators having a shit-flinging match. This is the actual Democrat establishment eating each other alive, all right? And it is so nice to watch. I'm not even gonna lie. Harry Pisson says, absolutely pathetic. I can't believe we caved to this wannabe dictator and his goons. Thanks to the Democrats who voted no, we'll remember who bent the knee. Bro, 23-year-old schmuck is so mad that they reopened the government. See, none of them cared about SNAP benefits. They all made believe they cared about poor people. Poor people are not going to be able to get their SNAP benefits. But what about all the poor fat people that can't afford food? They're literally dying of hunger. They're all dying of hunger. I don't understand. And here we're at, man. Here we're at. They never cared. They never cared. They literally held the government as a hostage, and now they're all crying that it reopened with nothing. So Hassan quotes John Fetterman, I hate this MFing ogre so much. Dude, we're actually seeing retard civil war. Even CNN acknowledged that this was a giant scam.
How are Republicans going to use leverage in their fight with Democrats when the Democrats are actually the ones with the upper hand in the eyes of voters?
Oh, I'm sure Democrats will be more than happy to open the government now. The election's over. I mean, part of the reason they shut it down was to get through tonight.
I mean, I would
True! They shut down the government so that maybe their random retard leftoids like Zoran Mamdani can actually win his personal election. It was always a scam.
I just talked
open
to
it up by the end of the week.
Adam Schiff. He was like, hold the line.
There's lots of rumors of
should
wanting to
hold the
open
line.
it.
Look, I don't see what is the incentive for Democrats to back down when voters are basically saying Trump's not doing enough, it's the Republicans' fault, and then they basically handed the keys in this past election to the Democrats. Where's the leverage?
Again, these are blue states electing Democrats, not a shock.
True.
Democrats clearly wanted this shutdown to get through Election Day.
True.
I do think they are facing pressure from their internal coalitions. The unions, the air traffic controllers, the government employee unions are desperate to get the government back open. They're feeling a little bit of internal heat. But again, the election's now over. I'm sure tomorrow morning phones will start ringing and it'll be open soon enough. This was a political shutdown, and that's what they did, and now we're through the election day.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're at. Well, that's where we're at today, because he was right. He was right. They folded instantly under zero pressure. Bro, it's crazy. They try so hard. So this was right before everyone voted to reopen the government, and it's just so good watching the before and after.
But for the first time, I don't know, in history, the Republicans are saying, we don't want to negotiate. It is our way or the highway.
Let's go, Republicans! It's really rare for you to stand on business, but I am so happy you did. He's like, for the first time in history, the Republicans are telling us no and fuck off. And we don't understand. This has never happened to us before.
Take it or leave it.
That's right, take it or leave it, old man.
And given what the enormous consequences of what is at stake.
I love how he never tells us what's at stake, because he refuses to actually mention what's in the bill that they're trying to pass, which is free healthcare for illegals.
The Democrats are saying, no, you have to sit down and negotiate.
And guess what? They didn't actually have to sit down and negotiate. The Democrats folded like a piece of paper.
And Republicans are refusing to do that.
And fuck you.
That is the reason.
Sorry, old man.
Why we are in a shutdown.
No, it's actually not. The reason why you were in a shutdown is because leftoids tried to run a scam. And failed miserably, actually, which is pretty awesome if I think about it myself. Now, this is awesome because Democrats are so retarded, aside from being retards politically, they openly admit that they shut the government down for leverage.
We need to do this while we have the leverage.
Leverage?
Of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer, but it is one of the few leverage times we have.
Bro, you're literally holding starving people hostages as you play politics for fucking social media clout. Is this not pathetic?
You reopen the government and we lose our leverage. There has to be an agreement right now. That's what this whole shutdown.
Literally, all these Hamas supporters, every single one of them, they actually took the country hostage to push their bullshit. And you know what? They accomplished nothing.
It's about
Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. Frankly, this is our only moment of leverage.
The idea that you would give up all of your leverage and then hopefully get some sort of great deal coming down the pike is just a fool's errand.
Why are working families the leverage the Democrats need to get Obamacare fixed?
It's the only lever we have.
Democrats have this one little sliver right now when we've got some leverage.
Some Republican senators
Your leverage is people starving of hunger. Poor hungry people.
have pushed a bill that would pay government workers.
I think that just gives the president more leverage.
Catherine was basically expressing in her own words the notion that our leverage right now are our votes.
Them wanting to solve the problem that we want to solve, but do it in a couple of days or a couple of weeks when we've given up our negotiating leverage.
Without that leverage, the minority party, would be stuck in the mud and not basically have anything to negotiate.
So not only do they basically admit on camera that they directly took the American people as their hostage for their really, really stupid strategy, their flim-flam, their bamboozle, but they essentially go out and did nothing. They accomplished nothing. They went out there and they straight up did nothing. It's amazing. So Donald Trump decided to win over the American people a little bit more. He has taken so much advantage over this Democrat shit show, because this was one of the biggest failures in modern politics. This entire government shutdown. They shut the government down for 40 days to do absolutely nothing but torture their own people. It's insane. It really is insane. They're like, yeah, we're gonna torture our own peasants, but at least we're gonna get Trump, and then they didn't even get Trump. So Trump made this post, and I have a lot of opinions, obviously, but I think it's hilarious that we're getting here. People that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation and a record stock market price. 401k is the highest ever. We are taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debt, 37 trillion. Record investment in the USA. Plants and factories going up all over the place. A dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. Everyone that's not a high-income person is getting a $2,000 check as a tariffs check for all of the American people. Now, realistically, is this a good idea? I don't care, because the Democrats are mad. They're the party that promises free things. They're the free thing party, and none of them actually do anything for free. Right? Even Zoran Mamdani, infinite free shit guy, is getting canceled by his own voters right now because he charged them $13 a beer at his party. They're like, we elected a socialist that wants everything for free, and he's charging us $13 for beer. And then Trump is just like, $2,000 for you, $2,000 for you. He's just throwing it around. Tariffs are great, $2,000 for everyone, unless you're rich. And it's pretty incredible watching the flip here. It's like the actual guy giving free money to people is Trump, not any of these retards. Trump says, no more money, hundreds of billions of dollars to the Democrat-supported insurance companies for really bad Obamacare. Based. The money must now go directly to the people, taking the fat cat insurance companies out of the corrupt system of healthcare. Based. Oh my God, so based. This is so based. It's so good. These healthcare companies got so rich over this garbage for no reason. They supplied nothing. The people can buy their own much better policy for much less money, saving for themselves an absolute fortune. President DJT. I don't think the Democrats realized that through this shutdown, they exposed all of the social, the healthcare companies for being scams. They exposed food stamps and SNAP benefits for being largely scams. They accidentally exposed their whole party. They humiliated themselves absolutely and utterly. And it keeps getting better. Trump doesn't stop. How easy should voter ID be to get from the radical left Democrats? There should be nothing easier, right? Well, out of the 47 Dems, we don't have one vote for them. That is for one reason, or one reason only. They want to cheat. They are a bunch of scoundrels, cheaters, and psychopaths. Terminate the filibuster. Take our country back. Approve voter ID. Make America great again. Dude, he's like cooking. This is diabolical. He has been insane. So now, I'm gonna have to show you a major drama that happened behind the scenes. No one is talking about this, and that's why I have to. It is part of this entire situation. Definitely subscribe for all the behind the scenes drama. AOC said, you needs to be silenced to Senator Kennedy. All right, this guy, this cute old man. All right, when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted that John Kennedy was dangerous and needed to be silenced, she never expected what would come next. Kennedy didn't fire back with rage. He walked into a nationally televised forum, pulled out every tweet AOC posted and read them out loud, word for word, no edits, no spin, just the truth. It wasn't a debate, it was a reckoning. From the Constitution to receipts, Kennedy exposed the double standards and hypocrisy in real time. Diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. Now, Kennedy has become one of the major arch nemeses of the Democrats because he has found a way, despite being old as fuck, he has still found a way to talk directly to voters. And the American people listen to this guy because he has been consistently right about almost everything for his entire career. He's one of the really rare guys, and he's also hilarious. He's also just a really funny guy. AOC is one of those people, that's the reason why they have instructions on a shampoo bottle. Like, ever since he said that quote, I knew he was the GOAT. Drywall and Jeffrey Epstein. Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jeffrey Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves. Dude, I love this guy. I love this guy. So anyway, this was his speech right before. Here's just 2 little clips. All right, here are just 2 little clips of his speech right before they voted to open the government. Because realistically, there is no defense for the Kennedy.
I don't know what else to do. I voted 14 times to open up government. I can't change the election. President Trump was duly elected president of the United States. He was in a free election.
True.
And the American people spoke.
True.
And some of my colleagues are upset about that.
I've noticed.
In fact, they hate the president so much, they've shut down government. They hate him so much that if President Trump came out in favor of breathing to live, they would hold their breath. It's not rational. And I just don't know what else to do. All I can tell my Democratic friends is, look, reasonable people disagree, and I get it. But you're just being too emotional.
You're all feminized whores.
Drink a big, old, cold, tall glass of get over it.
True!
And realize the president.
True! This dude's the president of the United States. Stop bitching and make the government work. Why are you turning this into a war? You suck, guys, for real. Like, dude, it must suck to be that stupid. Anyway, he had another clip. This one also went super viral, as you can see.
As everyone knows,
this is 150,000 likes.
Folks aren't being paid while we're in a shutdown. Our air traffic controllers are not being paid. In fact, starting tomorrow, the airlines are going to be canceling flights. Our staffs are not being paid. Federal employees are not being paid. These young men and women here, our pages, are not being paid. Our military is only being partially paid. I'm confused about SNAP payments. Some say the payments are being made. Some say they aren't. I don't know who's telling the truth, but I do know this. I don't think anybody wants to see anybody hungry in America. The only people that I can ascertain who are being paid are members of Congress.
Oh, shit.
Now, I'm not being paid. I said I wasn't going to take a salary during the shutdown.
Based.
And some of my colleagues are, and I'm not judging anybody. I'm really, the purpose of this is not to judge anybody. I'm just saying that it's time that Congress set an example. I've got two bills I'm going to offer up today. The first one is called the No Shutdown Paychecks to Politicians Act. This just says that while we're in a shutdown, members of Congress don't get paid.
W!
And they don't get back pay.
Base!
The second bill is entitled Withhold Member Pay During Shutdowns Act. That bill says while we're in a shutdown, members of Congress don't get paid, but they will get paid. They'll get their money in arrears after we open government back up.
Amazing. That's right. You have to pay the government back if you take money during a shutdown. Like, he's completely right, for the record. He is completely and utterly correct. There's no reason why Congress people should not be getting should be getting paid while they're doing nothing and they're voting to shut the government down. It's insane. And so Trump actually watched that speech and posted this. It was so interesting yesterday when our great senator from Louisiana, John Kennedy, introduced a bill in an attempt to withhold a member of Congress from getting paid, and Rand Paul, who never votes for anything, tried to stop it because he wanted to be paid. In other words, Rand wanted to pay the people who stopped the government from working. What's going on with Rand? A fantastic question. Yeah, no, absolutely. And John Kennedy says, thank you, President Trump. If we can't fund the government, we don't deserve our paychecks. That's common sense to the American people, but unfortunately, common sense is illegal in Washington. Absolutely diabolical. Diabolical! So, after Kennedy did this, he basically did a generational media run. Everyone got him on Fox News and on CNN and all the things. And my guy has been cooking nonstop.
Do you ever hear any conversation in the hallway among your Democrat colleagues, maybe the senators from Virginia, others who tend to be slightly more centrist, who are at all concerned about what's happened to the Democrat Party? I mean, they won, Tuesday night, but where is this going?
Yes, I do hear it. A lot of them are scared. They see that the loon wing, the socialist wing, whatever you want to call it, the Bolshevik wing of the party is taken over, and they're scared of that wing of that party.
1,000%. They're terrified. Chuck Schumer was just humiliated because the shutdown was a giant failure. The only win the Democrats actually had was that they elected a radical communist Islamist to the mayor of New York City. That's the big Democrat win that people are talking about. The Democrats are literally going to go full radical. They're going to go full commie, full pro-immigration. They are literally going down the radical leftoid route, and that's the only way they can, because they're being absolutely humiliated since their entire policy is just anti-Trump.
Many of them are scared to say anything. But others, even the moderate, so-called moderate Democrats, they just have this deep, abiding hatred for President Trump. They just can't accept that he won the election. And, you know, they need to be put down their juice boxes and be adults. And, I don't know, drink a big old tall glass of get over it and accept the fact that the president is the president. But they really can't. There really is something to this Trump derangement syndrome. Even the more reasonable Democrats just can't seem to get past it.
Trump literally broke half of the country. He broke them. It's crazy to even think about. Oh my God.
What is your response? Chuck Schumer's
This is one of the craziest tweets ever. God, please give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'm gonna need bail money. Bro! What? Oh my God.
Give me strength, I'm going to need bail money. What Senator Schumer is suggesting is that we do the dumbest thing possible that won't work. Stupid should hurt more. Senator Schumer says we should just extend the status quo for a year. What does that mean?
That means no government for a year.
That means that we would have to take $35 billion of taxpayer money and give it directly to the health insurance companies without any commitment of lowering premiums. How is that going to reduce health care costs? How's that going to reduce premiums? The health care companies are going to take $35 billion from the taxpayers and put it into their pockets. I mean, duh. I don't know what Senator Schumer is thinking. Earth to Chuck. I mean, earth to Chuck. Am I going to vote for this? The short answer is no. The long answer is hell no. I think we're just going to have to get used to the fact that we've been shut down. We're going to be in a shutdown for a while. I voted 14 times to lift the shutdown. The Democrats and Senator Rand Paul have voted 14 times to keep the government shut down. We're just going to be here for a while.
And, well, they got absolutely humiliated, and they absolutely caved completely. A complete and utter cave. To quote the late and great Charlie Kirk, members of Congress should not be paid during a government shutdown. He tweeted that in 2018, and my oh my, how correct he was, as he tended to be a lot. Now, I think about this tweet a lot, actually, since the government shutdown. I was thinking about this for a while. The fact that the government shutdown had zero impact on my life tells me that the government is useless. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say that it's useless, but I am going to go as far as to say that 90% of it needs to be eliminated. We do not need a government as big as it is. Like, we gotta get rid of it. We gotta get rid of 90% of the government. It's like, it's endless garbage and backs and forths, like, for no reason. They don't do anything half the time. Like, dude, the government was shut down for 40 days, and I was not affected at all. Like, literally not affected even a little bit. Some people probably were. That sucks for them. Get over it. It wasn't a big deal. Unless you have a government job, this didn't affect you.
Senator,
and I don't think we need to just be giving people jobs if, to be honest, the jobs are worthless. Now, I'm going to quote this is a famous quote. You have two economists that go into the forest, all right? One economist crafts a spoon, carves a spoon, and then he sells that spoon to the other economist. The other economist sells the spoon back for the same amount of money to the first economist. They just generated $100 of trade, but nothing fucking happened. We do not need to hire people for useless jobs forever. It's like infinite money glitch, right? Another one of these, which I think is even more accurate for this specific instance, is and think about this. Some people have been saying, I think this is like an Elon Musk quote actually. If you hire people to dig holes with shovels instead of using tractors, then you could definitely hire more people. Right? So how dare we get tractors to dig holes when we could just hire more people with shovels and you create more jobs? And the response to that is, well, then why don't we get them to dig holes with spoons? You could get way more jobs if you do that. Paying people for useless, purposeless jobs just for the nebulous purpose of creating jobs is not a solution. It is retarded. Spoon-based economy. That's right, it's retarded. So anyway, Nick Shirley went to Congress to actually start asking Congress people about this government shutdown. And let's see what this is all about, because this is apparently crazy.
What will it take for you to vote to reopen the government?
It's all on the Republicans. Shame!
In simplest terms for the American people, can you explain why the government is shut down?
So next month, I won't receive food stamps.
Hello, is AOC in today? The United States government has been shut down for a record amount of days. This is the largest shutdown in the United States history.
And think about it. It's shut down for nothing. It was shut down for no reason.
And today we're here at the nation's capital talking to people about the shutdown, why it's shut down. A lot of people are being affected from the shutdown. Government workers are not being paid. SNAP benefits have been cut nearly in half. And now airplanes are going to be flying at 10% less than usual here in the United States because of this government shutdown.
Absolutely
right now,
retarded.
Republicans are blaming Democrats while Democrats are blaming Republicans. And
Yeah, the Republicans are blaming the Democrats because they're voting for the shutdown. The Democrats are blaming the Republicans because they can literally just look you in the face and lie, and people believe it. Yep, that's what it's all about. They can literally just look at you and lie. This is the reason why Zoran Mamdani, by the way, was elected as the mayor of New York City. He was able to look at his voters in the face and say, I will give you free things. And people were like, free things? Say less! Well, breaking news. Zoran Mamdani retracts his $30 minimum wage promise to voters, saying they will have to make do. Well, color me shocked and surprised. He's not keeping a promise.
And so today we're going to be speaking with all sorts of people, from congressmen to congresswomen to protesters to people on the streets to people losing their benefits from SNAP and everything in between.
All right, let's go.
Today we're going to see what's happening and get the truth about the government shutdown. Here we are here at the U.S. Capitol. And so right now you have some Democrats outside of the Capitol building right now. They're doing a press conference and they're blaming the government shutdown on Donald Trump.
Dude, they do this every single day. It's like their entire day. They go out there and they blame things on Trump when it's literally has nothing to do with him.
Their signs say, stop healthcare heist, billionaires got richer, Americans get sicker. So they're blaming the shutdown on President Trump. And if Democrats and Republicans don't come to agreements right now, what's going to happen is premiums are going to go up. What Donald Trump is saying is that they need to pass whatever they're trying to pass, and then they'll talk and they'll be negotiated.
I'm just saying, I'm going to say something radical right now. I'm going to say something radical. But if healthcare goes away, then that means a lot of women are not going to want to abort their babies because a lot of abortions are being subsidized through free healthcare. So we have government-funded child holocaust that happens every single year. So I'm just saying, this government shutdown might have saved some children. Who knows? Who knows? Glass half full.
Out, but Democrats want to keep the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, in place before premiums do go up on Americans. In simplest terms for the American people, can you explain why the government is shut down?
Because Mike Johnson won't negotiate, and John Thune won't negotiate, and Trump won't allow us to save health care for the American people.
For illegal immigrants.
Right now we have some people getting angry at you. Are you a Republican or Democrat, sir?
I'm a Republican.
Look at right now we have some people yelling at right now because of the current state of the
Dude,
government.
I love how you have Democrats walking around just doing their thing, and then you have Republicans always surrounded by middle-aged liberal white women without husbands or children just screaming at them for no reason.
About it. But
They're kidnapping people.
You're kidnapping people's grandparents. No, the poor abuela. She was in the country for 40 years. My response to that is, she was in the country for 40 years and she didn't become an American citizen. Bye.
And do you think there's anything the Republicans and Democrats can do to reopen the government?
Yeah, well, they should. We need the votes of the Democrats in the Senate to have closure, and so that we can open up the government. That's what we need to do. Open the government, and then let's get back to work.
I just talked to this lady over here. She said she's also works here in the government. She said it's on the fault of the Republicans here not opening the government and blaming Trump for not negotiating or not talking.
No, look, we voted 13.
Like, it's crazy that this works. Like, you don't understand. They look into the camera and they say it's because Trump. When the fact is, unironically, they voted to reopen it and the other guys refused. And they make these cockamamie demands, and well, surprise, it didn't work.
Times to keep the government open during the Biden years. We didn't put any requirements on that.
Yeah, think about how insane it is. Like, Trump is the president, elected by the American people, right? The American people elected Trump for whatever reason, mostly, I think, on the illegal aliens issue, which, say what you want about Trump, he closed the border, and that was probably one of the most momentous things ever done by a president, and ever done as efficiently as Trump did it, and I don't see him getting nearly as much respect for that as he deserves, because he did something absolutely incredible. But the point is, he goes in there, he actually follows the mandate of the American people, and the Democrats throw a tantrum, they shut down the government, they get their woke judges to block every single bill passed, they want to do everything they can to fuck America, and then they'll blame Trump. They want to ruin and destroy our country so that they could say, well, that's Trump's America. That is literally their goal. Their modus operandi is ruining our country. That's the two sides right now. Both sides.
Just kept the government open, even though there was a bunch of stuff that they did. Excuse me, I'm talking, okay? All right, so.
It's my freedom of speech to stand in front of you and yell at you. Liberal women, ladies and gentlemen. Liberal women.
Wow, look at some hostility out here outside of the Capitol.
A lot of hostility. Look, we voted 13.
Yeah, someone in my comment section told me that the number one existential threat to America is the importation of radical Muslims. My response is, who's voting to import them?
Times to keep the government open, even during the Biden years, even though we did not agree with a lot of the stuff, we never kept the government as hostage. And so open the government and let's get back to work.
Thank you. So what are you guys yelling at this guy for?
Don't talk. We've already told you that that's Charlie.
Don't talk to him. We're standing here screaming at you, but we refuse to talk to you. Liberal white women. Liberal white women.
Kirk, get out of here.
I'm not trying to be Charlie Kirk. I'm asking you guys a question. You have a platform right now to voice your opinion about the government. We just talked to a representative. He says it's because of the Democrats. We're not live right now.
We told you yesterday. We got a Nazi.
We told you yesterday you're a Nazi. Well,
because of the government shutdown, do you guys believe that the Democrats should vote to reopen the government? There's been over 10 votes so far.
People are going to lose their health care and people are going to die in result to that.
Do you not
so
believe?
they're holding people accountable
bro,
they're holding like people's health.
The emergency rooms aren't turning people away that are dying. You've got to be kidding me. These people are terrible.
Because of the fact that, if you guys want SNAP benefits, if you don't want to starve, then let's take away people's health care? No.
Bro, he's literally, these people, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. This is insane. Bro, the Republicans aren't trying to remove people's health care. The Republicans are trying to reopen the government and actually remove fraud from the healthcare system and refuse to fund healthcare for illegal aliens that invaded our country. They're not trying to kill people.
That is not a... Why would we do that?
Why are we the only first world country without healthcare? Do you want healthcare?
I do want healthcare.
Okay, do you really think it's okay that these corporations...
Why not pay for healthcare? I don't know, man. Dude, universal healthcare is like, it's a pipe dream. I know that this is like the Asmongold take. And maybe in the future, when we don't have to worry about money because we have androids doing everything and we become iPad babies like in WALL-E, maybe then we don't have to worry about universal healthcare. But as it stands right now, socialism is cancer. It really is. It absolutely is cancer. Look, I am a dual citizen. I'm Canadian. I'm also American, which means I'm not perfect because I'm also Canadian. But I'm working. I'm trying every day to be a better person. But I am dual citizen. I lived in Canada for years. I lived in America for years. I could say without a shadow of a doubt, the American healthcare system is 1,000 times better. 1,000 times better than the Canadian healthcare system. You get socialized, retarded healthcare in Canada, where if you're dying of lung cancer, you go on a fucking waiting list. You go on a waiting list for a year and a half until an oncologist sees you to tell you, well, you should have been here a year and a half ago. Now you're gonna die. All right, welcome to Canadian healthcare. And if you're poor, for the record, if you're poor in America, you do get free healthcare. You do. Yeah, you literally do. And it kind of sucks. The same way the Canadian one sucks. Because free healthcare is absolute dog shit. It really is. And I could list you the reasons forever. The appointment, it takes forever to get an appointment. It doesn't incentivize doctors to actually be better doctors. Because they get paid by the government. Socialized healthcare means the doctors don't get paid. The doctors are paid by the government. They get paid shekels on the dollar, as they say. Right? Dude, I'm not even kidding. I am not even exaggerating. Right? There's a famous quote in the Talmud. Never go to a free doctor. All right, and that's Canadian doctors. I know a socialist, a Canadian socialist. He's a YouTuber. I'm not going to expose him right now. He's a YouTuber with 1.5 million subscribers. He preaches socialism all the fucking time. Socialism is base. Trump is bad. Socialism awesome. Free healthcare. Every time he or his girlfriend need a medical procedure, they drive to America to get it done in America. And then they go back to Canada to screech about socialism. You have to understand what we're dealing with.
Privatize healthcare so people cannot get the surgeries they need, the medication they need.
Everyone gets the medication they need. Obviously, it could be better. Obviously, I don't want people dying and stuff of diseases and whatever. But when these people say the medications they need, they're including abortion. All right, they're including transgender surgeries for children or even for adults. I don't want to fund people castrating themselves. Personally, I don't want to do that. I don't want my taxpayer dollars to go to funding castration or child castration or abortion, baby murder. No, I don't actually want to pay for that at all. So no, I don't think that needs to be subsidized by healthcare unless it's an actual health risk. Breast augmentation, that's what they want. They literally want plastic surgery, breast augmentation, therapy, libtard therapy. Oh my God, my parents, I have religious trauma. I have trauma from being religious as a kid. Well, you have trauma from being religious as a kid. What happened to you? Well, they told me it was a sin. They told me it was a sin to fucking steal money from people. Oh, did they now? Is that your religious trauma?
I think that's okay while all these other countries have free healthcare, and we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, and yet everything is privatized.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that's wrong with healthcare here in the United States, and you guys think that they should reopen the government so they can negotiate
They're not
furthermore?
going to negotiate. They're not going to negotiate. They had all the time to negotiate. They're pushing lies. Undocumented people have never received assistance in this country.
This is literally a lie. Like, how can you even say that realistically? There was literally proven billions of dollars that went to illegal aliens healthcare in America. This, like, she'll be like, they're just lying to you, and then she just straight up says probably the most obvious debunked lie of all time.
Country. That is not true. So this whole propaganda that they're pushing, that they're trying to get healthcare.
Right, I'm gonna give you a logical one. Aside from the fact that this is an absolute falsehood, proven by all sorts of facts that illegals did get healthcare. The fact that Medicare, SNAP, they were all signing illegals. All right. Aside from all of that. All right, I'm going to tell you something very logical. Think about this for a second. If an illegal alien goes to an emergency room, what do the doctors do? Well, the answer is the doctors treat the patient for free. So you're retarded. In fact, I personally know somebody who works in a hospital in New York. You know, a leftoid hellhole. He's a Republican guy. He works in a hospital there, and they got an illegal alien patient. And you know, the duty is you see every patient, and he saw the patient and he treated her, and she was fine. I think she got into like a car accident or something, or a gang fight or something like that. Treated her. She was fine. They let her out of the hospital, and he called ICE. It didn't work, but I respect the attempt.
For illegal aliens. First of all, how are you going to say someone's illegal on stolen land? This was colonized land.
Oh my God! Dude, if there's no such thing as illegal immigration, then there's no such thing as stolen land. These people are retarded.
Second of all, undocumented people do not receive assistance. Why is that lie continuing to be pushed? Why do we think some human beings are better?
Like, it's crazy that we're still living in 2025 and these people are still pushing this stolen land garbage. All right, first of all, it's conquered land. All right, it is conquered land. Ho! Like, literally, conquered by men stronger than you. All right, that's one. Two, all of land through all of history was conquered and colonized. You think the Native Americans weren't constantly conquering and fighting and brutalizing each other? They were a brutal, warring culture. Multiple cultures that were constantly warring with each other. So, to be clear, they were also conquering each other's land throughout all of their history. That's two. Three, if this is stolen land, then you are implying that lands could have owners. And if lands have owners, then people that don't own the land should be deported. So your logic is retarded.
Than other human beings. Do you think that you're better than her?
No, I do not.
Okay, so why she's Latino? How are you gonna say that a human being is illegal? Do you know how broken our immigration system is?
And would you?
Dude, I think that every single person that preaches for, like, can we push this motion in the Congress? Senator Kennedy, if you're watching, can we please push a motion in the Congress that every single person that says no human is illegal gets a free tenant to just show up and sleep on their couch? Can we please do that? Can we please orchestrate this? Like, put it into law. You need to get a homo hobo to sleep on your couch if you say nobody's illegal.
Believe me, if illegal migrants were actually getting benefits here inside the United States.
They are not.
If I showed you a video right now, would you believe me?
Because let me see your fake news, because it's not true. Undocumented people do not receive assistance. That is like not correct. And I would like to see your source,
all right,
to be honest. Mm-hmm.
These people were inside the Row Hotel, where there's also thousands of other illegal migrants living.
No rent! Bro, his evidence was a personal interview where the illegals admitted to him. That's crazy. Yep, it's 100% free.
What I have to say,
keep watching.
Well, they're getting benefits. They're getting things that we should be paying people, things like this.
This is the leftoid mentality. It doesn't happen. Okay, it does happen, but here's why it's actually good that it happens. We went through the entire leftoid hive mind in 1 second.
Care to me isn't an issue that we should be paying for. With Medicare, yeah.
Undocumented people do not receive assistance. Well, they're getting benefits.
And because of what's called...
Every single time. I'm telling you, man, these overly empathetic liberal white women are the destruction of Western civilization. It's this hyper-radical feminism that is the end of this culture. It really is. It really is. Every culture has its flaws. Our flaws is that... we're way too tolerant, man. We're way too tolerant of this shit.
Called the filibuster, there is needed 60 votes to pass a bill to reopen the government. Right now, there are 53 senators that are Republican that are voting to reopen the government. Meanwhile, they need just 7 Democrats to vote to reopen the government, and they have already voted more than 10 times. However, they have not been able to get enough votes from the Democrats to reopen the government. So I confronted one of the senators who has voted no each time to see what it would take for him to vote yes to reopen the government.
Senator, what will it take for you to vote to reopen the government, to get your vote?
We need to have an airtight guarantee that healthcare tax credits for...
They don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know what they're talking about, man. They're literally just doing this because they hate Trump. They have no movement.
Purchase of insurance will be guaranteed. Americans need to be sure that they can afford healthcare insurance, and I will vote to reopen the government when there is a commitment to extend the healthcare tax credits.
Bro, they literally have Congress people that can't walk and talk at the same time. Like, we need to shut down the government, man. Like, cut out 90% of this shit. Like, this is retarded.
That make health insurance affordable.
And Republicans are saying a lot of illegal migrants are getting a lot of benefits. Do you believe that?
Undocumented immigrants are not receiving benefits under the ACA. It's prohibited by law.
It's prohibited by law, but it happens anyway, because your system is literally created with loopholes that they take advantage of. Dude, no one's buying this crap anymore.
Not happening.
And if you guys were to reopen the government and voted to reopen the government, do you believe Donald Trump would negotiate healthcare?
I'm sorry, who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Okay.
Do you think Donald Trump would negotiate with you guys with healthcare?
What is this YouTube that you publish videos upon? That's right, we're the media now, old man.
Do you trust his
Donald
words?
Trump has refused to come to the table to even talk about a compromise.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to budge, and fuck you. And he's right, and he won, and you all completely and utterly caved. Because you suck. Yep, correct.
Compromise is not a 4-letter word. We ought to be willing to talk. Unfortunately, Donald Trump has absolutely refused to talk.
And now we are going to a protest to talk with the people there about the government shutdown. Before we go there, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Opus Clip. Videos, and they've received a constant protest from one group or another. Let's see what the people here have to say. We are outside the White House right now. Donald Trump is
white liberal woman. I'm sure we're gonna hear some absolute wisdom bombs.
Right there. Do you
this
think
is someone who's spending their day in the White House yelling at and contributing nothing to society instead of spending a day raising her children or taking care of her grandchildren?
He is to blame for the government shutdown.
Well, the president, well, they used to say the buck stops here, right? That he's in charge of the government. He says he's in charge of everything.
It's such a retard logic. It's not Biden's fault that he opened the border and let in 30 million illegals, but it is Trump's fault that the Democrats are voting to shut down the government. Like, this is a woman with cats.
I hold him to his own words. Yeah, he's the president, right?
How do you think this government shutdown ends? The largest shutdown in history.
How do I think it ends? I think maybe the Republicans come to their senses.
Oh, this dude's eating shit right now. Oh, no. Fascism. It's real. It's here. What are you going to do? This is basically saying you should go kill them. I know that this is me reading into things, but what do you do if there's a fascist takeover of your country? Well, you got to kill the fascist, right? That's the only thing you could do. If there's a fascist takeover, what are you going to do? Nazis are running your country. You have to kill them, right? So yeah, that's what this sign says. This sign is kill Republicans. In boomer words.
Realize that they don't need to go down with the good ship Trump, and they come back to the negotiating table.
Do you think Republicans are going to turn on Trump inside the Senate and the congressmen, congresswomen, everybody over at that building over the Capitol?
I don't know how long it's going to take, but eventually they'll be like rats off a sinking ship.
Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. Yep, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. My guy, you got absolutely cucked, my guy.
If you were a Democrat, would you vote to reopen the government, or would you stand strong with the other Democrats like Chuck Schumer?
I don't see any point. You can't negotiate with these people. I think they have all the levers of power. It's within their ability to reopen the government. If they don't want to, then let the American people see what we've got.
That was a non-answer, okay.
Right now we have a bunch of handmaids with the middle finger yelling at the White House. saying shame to the White House.
That'll change everything. They literally got a cosplay orgy of liberal white women to show up and waste their life. Like, it's insane.
Right now. Should they reopen the government?
Shame! And Trump! Shame! That's all on the Republicans! Shame! Shame!
They know they're lying, and they'll just lie anyway.
Shame! 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 Shut down! Shame! Donald Trump shut down! Holding people. Starving is not a hostage negotiation.
Yeah.
Bro, it's literally the Democrats that are using the starving people as their leverage. They admitted it themselves. You are in a cult. It's just a literal group of actual liberal white women that are all retarded. It's crazy. It's insane. It's crazy. Look, man, I have spoken to feminists. So, all right, you're gonna hear some Nux lore. So, I have a relative in New York that's a feminist. She's a very proud feminist, and she's obviously very anti-Zoran Mamdani. She's a Republican. She's absolutely anti the whole communist Islamist takeover of New York, obviously. And I said to her, so what do you think of your new mayor, Zoran Mamdani? She's like, it's horrible, whatever. He's terrible. He's horrible. Communism is awful, all that. And I said, you know who his prime voters were? And she's like, yeah, like migrants. And I said, yeah, but like if all the white people who are the majority, right? If they all those white people, right? If they would have voted for the other guy, the other guy would have won. So what happened? And she was like, well, I mean, I don't know. Ultimately, I said, did you know that 80% of the women voted for Zoran Mamdani? It's feminism that got this guy elected. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. I've been saying this to every single feminist I know. Because the reality is, a lot of people are like, you know, feminist, like in principle, that men and women are equal and stuff like that. But not realizing the fact that men and women, while they're equal in regards to their humanity, are not biologically the same. Men and women are wired differently. We are. It's a biological fact. It really is a biological fact. And the other actual biological fact is, and everyone will agree, until, you know, we were taken over by radical retards, is that women operate on emotion a lot more than men do. That's just a fact. And when Zoran Mamdani goes out there and yells and screams about the poor Muslims that were traumatized by 9/11, it's only women that are gonna, not only, but it's 80% of the people that are falling for that are gonna be women. Because statistically, that he was talking in a highly emotionally charged, empathetic, feminized, commie slang, and it worked. So anyway, I'm really glad we were able to have this discussion. It changed the world.
What do you think about the people on Snap not getting the benefits to the full extent right now?
Well, we don't give those people benefits, so we can give billionaires their tax breaks.
Do you feel like what's going on in the government's a clash between the
I love when people do this. None of them actually think about how insane this is. All right, none of them actually... Dude, none of these people think for even a second. Why do you think 90% of the billionaires vote for Democrats? 90%! Like, all the billionaires are... 90% of the billionaires in America are concentrated in California and New York. Two vapidly leftoid states. Why? Literally why? It's so obvious.
Billionaires and the common people?
It has been for decades. It's just gotten worse. He's the most blatant about it, for sure. But it has existed for past presidents, not just Republican.
What do you think about this government shutdown?
I'm happy the government shut down.
Fucking joker? Okay.
And why are you happy the government shut down?
Because the people need to wake up.
And do you think there will ever be a day underneath Donald Trump when Republicans and Democrats can sit down and discuss?
No. And those who aren't really interested in discussing rape ideologies.
What?
Do you trust the government right now?
No, definitely not.
Dude,
and you would not like it to get reopened?
Who creates these people? Like, dude, God, you do have a sense of humor.
I don't know. I think it needs to stay closed until Americans wake up.
Should they abolish the filibuster?
Oh, no. No. That's the only thing that's saving either side. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want something to go through, the filibuster is what helps people take more time to get more research done.
With this government shutdown, AOC has been very outspoken about this shutdown. We just got access inside of this building, and we can go interview anybody, so I'm going to go straight to AOC's door and see what she has to say. Hello, is AOC in today? She's not. Is she in Washington, D.C.?
Sorry?
Is she in Washington, D.C.? AOC is not here. Dang it. All right, thank you. So we did just try to talk to AOC. She's currently not here inside Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, because of the government shutdown, a lot of these congressmen...
Bro, AOC has a child mutilation flag on her door. Oh my God, these people are so pathetic, bro.
Congresswomen are not here inside of Washington, D.C. because they are not required to be here because the government is currently shut down. So that's why a lot of these halls are just empty, because the congressmen and congresswomen are not here. They're not getting paid. But these people should be here if they're trying to work on some sort of resolution. But because the government's shut down and they're not getting paid, they don't.
Well, actually, you know, the Congress people are getting paid. That's the whole scam.
Technically need to be here. So if the resolutions are going to be made, you probably want your congressmen and congresswomen to be here inside Washington, D.C., but a lot of people just aren't here from the Republicans and Democrats. And right now in America, over 40 million Americans rely upon SNAP or EBT food stamps benefits here inside the United States to get their food. And right now, because of the government shutdown, instead of the full $9 billion that goes out every month, has been cut nearly in half. Now only $5 billion of that will be distributed to the American people. Right now we're here in a...
Now, before I go too far, I just wanted to ask you a question. All right, now, this is a question that I'm just asking. This is not racism. This is just me asking question. Why is it that black people are on SNAP benefits 5 times more than white people? Please answer your question in a format that doesn't talk about systemic racism. Like, can you explain to me, like, what happened, bro? What happened? And before anyone says anything, this is my response. Before anyone says anything, this is my response. All right, I'm just talking facts. All right, this is what I have to say. All right, this is what we're at. Okay, all right. This is where we're at. Enough about my racist past. Let's talk about my racist future, says the CEO of racism. All right, I don't care. I literally don't care. But why is this a thing?
Lower income neighborhood here inside Washington, D.C. area in Anacostia. We're speaking with the people about how the government shutdown has affected them. How do you feel about the government shutdown?
I feel sorry for the people that is involved, but don't bother me at all.
Have you guys lost any benefits? I know the people said to come here to Anacostia for
food stamps.
Yeah.
So next month I won't receive food stamps, and I really need these food stamps because I only receive.
Okay, we were just talking with them.
Y'all gotta do this. Y'all gotta do this like a
Bro's freaking out that he has a camera.
Wait.
All right.
Do you know where you're at right now?
Yeah, in Anacostia.
Oh my God! The police showed up because a white man was asking questions. You've got to be kidding me.
Here.
What are you guys recording?
This seems like a law-abiding area. Look, I'm not again. I'm not. I swear to God, man. I'm just trying to help. All right, I'm just trying to help.
Doing a video on the government shutdown.
No, not over here.
Go more that way.
Not over here, bro. What? I thought this was a free country, bro. White boy alert.
No, just get out of this southeast. Go up if you want interviews. Like go up northwest or something.
All right, sounds good. We'll get out of here. Within 5 minutes of being here in Anacostia, we got drug dealers mad at us on the corner, and then the police said this is not the right space to be doing these interviews at.
Dude, that's crazy. I'm telling you, man, the street reporter YouTubers are changing the world. They're changing the world one day at a time. Definitely subscribe for more content and check out Nick Shirley. But that's crazy.
This is where everyone told us to come in Washington, D.C.
And you're racist if you think that there's something fucked up about this. That's right. Think about what your racism is going to do if you notice that this is fucked up.
We want to talk to people that had potentially been losing their SNAP benefits, but that's what has happened. We got kicked out real quick. How's the government shutdown affected you and your family or people in your neighborhood?
So definitely there are a number of people in my neighborhood who have been receiving food stamps and other benefits and who have been severely concerned about, Thanksgiving and just being able to provide for their families. There are a number of people who have been working who are experiencing hardship, and in a community like this where, we're in heavy pockets of communal poverty, it just calls for more violence, more of the things that we're supposedly trying to fight. So it's definitely been hard pressed and hard hit on this end.
How come you feel like the government's not opening?
This whole concept of the government isn't giving me free shit and now we have to kill each other is actually really tiring. Like, I know that poverty causes violence, obviously, but there is actually a solution. Get a job, bro. Get a job. Like, we have got to stop, man. Like, I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. It sucks. Right? But in Genesis chapter 2, God said to Adam, "From the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread." One of the fundamental truths of being a man is get your no ass to work and getting a job. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, at some point, you gotta take accountability for your shit.
It's the longest shutdown in U.S. history.
And again, I'm not blaming this guy specifically. This is a cultural thing that the government needs to fund me. The government needs to fund you, you should be saying thank you. I want to, Senator Kennedy, if you're watching this video, could you please institute a law in Congress that every single time someone receives SNAP benefits, they have to post a TikTok and put it on their TikTok and their Instagram accounts saying, I wanted to make this video to thank the American taxpayers for funding this week's food stamps. I wasn't able to do it myself because I didn't get a job, but I wanted to personally thank everyone that made it possible for me to survive. I think it would be a good idea if we get a thank you every month for people on food stamps. That's my opinion. It's not that hard. Just say thank you. You're not entitled to this money. It's coming to you out of the goodness of our hearts. And realistically, you're welcome. I'm happy that you're getting the money. I don't want anyone to starve. I want everyone to get the money. I would appreciate some gratitude. I really would. And you know what? This would stop every single illegal from getting it. Say please and thank you, says JD.
We have an administrator or a president right now who's just not really to be bipartisan or work across the aisle. Unfortunately, he has his own agenda, and everyone else is paying.
His own agenda, and everyone's paying for it. Bro, it's literally the Obamacare shit. The Democrats want to give money to illegals. We don't. Like, everyone's so ideologically captured.
Right now, if you think about it,
I got called a fascist for saying SNAP shouldn't cover junk food. SNAP should only cover raw food. You heard it here first, folks. SNAP benefits should cover water, fruits, vegetables, raw meat and fish, and eggs. That's it. It should not cover anything cooked, anything packaged, anything wrapped in plastic should not be covered by SNAP. All right? It shouldn't. This is in order for you guys to survive. And I don't want any starvation. I don't want any suffering. It is not for you to kill yourself on endless calories. All right? What about milk? It's raw. Raw food, you could have it. Sorry, man. No Cheetos, no pizza, no DoorDash, none of that. Sorry. Buy raw materials and learn to cook. All right? Like, we do not need to play this game forever. And we are stuck in this nebulous downward spiral. And I'm going to keep preaching this until one day things change. Who knows if they will, but I'm going to speak the truth, even if I think it's realistic. It's not super realistic to happen in the near future. Just like I don't think that, unfortunately, abortion is going to be stopped in the near future. You know, and I'm specifically talking about abortion that's not a health risk. Abortion that's not a health risk, I think it's murder, personally. And I'm going to keep talking about it, even though no one seems to really take that seriously, as tragic as that is.
Shutting the government down, and there are individuals who are impacted who are not eating. If you think about,
there is no starvation crisis in America. This is one of the great scams that the Democrats push. If you look up, all right, now I'm telling you this in advance because people tried to clip this and debunk this on Twitter. I got mega canceled for this one because they said I was lying. If you look up, is there a starvation crisis in America, you will be hit with some people have food deficiencies. All right, so all right, you know, 1 out of 5 children have deficiencies in regards to food or whatever. No one is starving. Deficiencies are not equal to starvation. No one's starving. Like, dude, no one... Okay, this is going to be super controversial. I'll make it even worse. There is no evidence of people that starved in Gaza, okay? There was food deficiency in Gaza, don't get me wrong. There is no evidence that people starved to death there. None, okay? In Gaza, all right? In America, there are soup kitchens, there are churches, there are your local places that will give you food, all right? We have an obesity crisis. We don't have a starvation crisis in America.
That when you think about the UN and the policies that we have in place in the UN, if a country did that where people were not eating and a leader was holding off those resources, we would have a whole...
But it's literally not him that's holding up the resources. It's literally the Democrats that were holding up the resources. It was literally the Democrats that voted to shut the government down. Like, you have to understand, bro. And also, you're retarded because there are like world crises happening all over the place. Did you know that there's mass starvations in Sudan right now? In Sudan, thousands starving. In Yemen, bro, in Yemen, 377,000 people died. A mix between, you know, violence and starvation was a big cause of it. The UN said nothing. The UN only criticizes America and Israel. That's the only people they criticize. I feel bad for this guy because he's just completely misinformed. He has no idea what's going on. And to be honest, I don't blame him because most voters have no idea what's going on. They really don't. Like, you know, you could sit there and say, oh, it's the government's fault that people are starving. You're just not living in reality, unfortunately.
different conversation. So I think it's definitely an issue.
Because over 40 million people will either lose or not receive their full benefits from SNAP this month, which is a lot of, that's over 10%.
Yeah, my hot take is, out of those 40 million people, the vast majority should not even be on SNAP, and they should get a job. SNAP should be people that are, you know, in actual financial crises that they can't get themselves out of. But if you are refusing to get a job and you are on government subsidies, honestly, fuck yourself.
Of the U.S. population is dependent upon SNAP and EBT and food stamps.
It's a major issue. I think financial literacy is like a bigger issue. I think sometimes...
Yeah, you don't say.
You know, just because...
Yeah, you don't say.
Oh, no. That's another conversation. But I would say, just short version, financial literacy is an issue.
True.
Education is an issue. If we have those things in place, you
right.
can take $5 and turn it into $100,000 with sound financial literacy.
He's actually correct. I think this is one of the most under-discussed topics in America, is the fact that this is the best country in the world, and you could actually make it if you actually make good life decisions. If you get a job, not even a super high-paying job, but if you get a job, this dude's based. I like this guy. This individual. I like him. I think he's misinformed, but I like this dude. Realistically. All right, I'm gonna give you some Jew lore. You ready for some Jew lore? Get a job. All right. Take whatever you can that you don't need to spend in that month, and put it in the S&P 500 stock. All right, you put it in that index, in that stock index, the S&P 500, and you fucking leave it there for 20 years. You will be a multimillionaire. All right, that's just the reality. Instead of splurging on Magic the Gathering cards and infinite fast food, you will literally be a top 1%er if you take a quarter of your paycheck every month and put it into the S&P 500. You will, in 20 years, you will be a multimillionaire. You'll be in the top 1%. That's how shit it is. All right, that's how shit the country is in regards to teaching people how to actually make a living and make something for themselves. We're gonna have another financial crash? Of course we will. Of course we're gonna have a financial crash. And then it's gonna go back up. And then it's gonna go back up. Because, you know, everything always inflates, and you want your money in the stock market, as an example. If you don't want to do that, you want to invest in real estate or something else, fine. I'm going to give you some Jew lore, okay? So my grandfather, Holocaust survivor, by the way, he came to America with absolutely nothing. He, thank God, is super, he became successful, even though he came here with nothing, literally nothing. Not even his family. His family was all killed in the Holocaust. He came alone, barely spoke the language, studied English every day, learned English. He still has like a heavy like Polish accent. All right. But you know, thank God he built a family. He wonderful guy. Bunch of grandkids, great grandchildren. Anyway, when I was a kid, you know, like you know, every kid gets, you know, Christmas money or Hanukkah money or whatever it is, and like you'll get I will get like let's say my grandfather will give me $10. All right, $10, like it's a present. I'd be so excited. I remember this. I was like 6 years old. He would give me these $10, and I would say thank you. And he said, "What do you want to do with these $10?" And I would say, "I don't know. I'm gonna go buy myself some Yu-Gi-Oh cards or whatever." And my grandfather would say, "Listen, a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards is $4. You'll still have $6 left over. Why not put these $6 in bonds or in stocks? And over time, these $6 will make you money." And we did that, and he took me to the bank. I remember this. I was a little kid. I was 6 years old or something, and he took me to the bank, and we went there, and he invested those $6. All right, and it changed my life. Not even kidding. So anyway, that it's diabolical. It really is. You know, we have an actual system in place in this country to actually succeed. But people don't know that. People really don't know that.
Literacy principles and discipline.
How's the government shutdown affecting you and your family and people inside this neighborhood?
It's affecting us because some people depend on food stamps and people it's not working to
Bitch, you 400 pounds.
For their family for the New Year's, and people really rely on food stamps because that's how they get their food for Thanksgiving and stuff like that.
So are a lot of people arriving to the supermarket or to the gas station and then not being able to use their EBT cards? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because they said they're not giving out any government assistance since the government shut down. So I feel like Do
you feel like families will starve if they don't open up the government?
Yes.
Has your family personally been
Yes, I'm eating all the food. I will starve.
Affected from the government shutdown?
Hell yeah, I've been affected from the government shutdown. I'm a felon. I just came home from the feds. I'm trying to get a job. I can't even go through the programs. I went through the program.
That came out of
nowhere. As soon as the government shutdown started, they said they not doing nothing. They said, y'all ain't heard of the government shutdown. I'm like, what y'all doing here? We considered essential.
So that's something you may not have thought about with the government shutdown. He just came out of federal prison, but now because everything federally is shut down because of the shutdown, he can't go get a job now.
Right, can't get a job.
Well, honestly, if you deport all the illegals, a lot of jobs are going to open up. Have you considered that?
But long live the man, freedom, man.
How's the government shutdown affecting people here inside this area, in this neighborhood?
Let me tell y'all, in this particular neighborhood, I would say majority of the people rely on food stamps for food.
Bro!
Or food banks.
What is this cucked culture? What are we doing? That's insane. The majority? Oh my God. No wonder why they're gonna vote for the left every single time. They keep them on a leash.
Or both.
Would you say if the government doesn't reopen, families will go starving here inside these neighborhoods?
Absolutely.
No, they won't. Stop. No, people aren't starving in America, okay? It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Like, you've got to be kidding me, bro.
Absolutely.
And who are people here blaming? Are they blaming Trump? They blaming the Democrats? What do they think?
I think these people, everybody's blaming everybody. I think at this point in this climate, everybody knows that Republicans and Democrats, all it is the same.
And with what you said about so many people relying upon the government here, do you think this might be a wake-up call for people to realize that maybe we shouldn't rely so much on the government?
I was just having a conversation with my friend about that. The amount of people that is...
Yo, should we get jobs, they said to each other?
Affected by this government shutdown and then not having their benefits is ridiculous, and that should people should really sit down and think about that the government is not really reliable, so you should always have your
get a job. We can't rely on the government to give us free shit our whole lives from the American taxpayer that's actually working. Maybe we should actually get jobs. What is happening in the school system that this is what they grow up with? Like, it's crazy. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Again, this is coming as a non-racist. I firmly believe every single human being is made in the image of God. And as a non-racist, get a job! What are we doing? This victimhood crap is killing you!
A source of income, some sort of a savings or backup plan, or have something going for yourself, a side hustle or something so that you can get your money.
Side hustle? What about a main hustle? Bro, what are we doing? Side hustle? Worry about a main hustle first. Get a job.
Government is not reliable.
You shouldn't rely on the government for your income. That's not even what the government's food benefits are for. It's not to be your income. It's if you fall on hard times and you can't make it, the government will help you out. Bro!
The shutdown has proven that. And so now people need to start coming up with, contingency plans for themselves and their families for whenever the government fails us like they're doing now.
Because free sounds good until there's no more free stuff.
And then now you gotta...
Actually, free doesn't sound good, all right? You will feel not accomplished. You will feel like shit. You will get depressed as fuck, and realistically get a job, dude.
Figure stuff out yourself.
I'm just asking the tough questions. Why is it that when Nick Shirley wanted to find people that were struggling on the government shutdown, why did he go to the black neighborhood? That's what I want to know. I'm just asking questions. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.